What's up, gang? Hope you're doing well. I was done recording for the day, but I forgot. There was a video, a clip that I saw on, I think it was Instagram Reel, and it was like 45 seconds long, but it was Richard Jefferson talking to Kendrick Perkins, and it was, "You're the reason American basketball is shit." But apparently it's an actual video. They got the longer clip of it. So 5 minutes, 35 seconds. I wanted to react to this.
What's up, y'all? Allie.
That was loud, and talk about it. But go like and subscribe, follow Road Trippin'. And I just want to see what they were talking about. I think it was AAU, and listening to the argument was pretty interesting. So wanted to talk about it and get your thoughts on it too.
Here, Richard here. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to Thursday Road Trip.
And
should we just get rid of the rules?
All the rules, because I was just at an AAU tournament this past weekend, right? And you know, you go up by if you up by 30, then you can't full court man to man. Get the fuck out of here.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
What you mean what's wrong with me?
I'm looking at you directly. You're saying you're up by 30 in a place where kids are supposed to fucking learn how to play basketball, and you want to stick your chest out and be like, yeah, kids.
14-year-olds?
Yeah, 14-year-old kids.
You're
14-year-old kids.
You about to be in high school.
Okay, listen, let me just say this.
You're not a kid. You're almost about to be in high school.
Part of the reason why American basketball is shit. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm developing a fucking killer mentality. That's what I'm developing.
Okay, so
their frontal lobe hasn't been developed just yet.
What am I? I'm sitting up because I'm telling you, if kids are up by 30, the goal is to learn how to play basketball, not to treat these kids like that.
See this right here? See this? He's the problem.
I'm the problem.
This is why
say that to USA Basketball. Say that to USA Basketball.
This is why the league is fucking soft.
I'm not talking about the league. I'm not talking about.
See, this is where it gets conflated. So I had a good conversation the other day with Jared Berggren, I believe is his name, and he was talking about how we were just talking about basketball culture in general. Long conversation. Go watch it on the Patreon if you want. It's all free. But basically, we got to the point where he was saying, like, there was an NBA player giving some advice to some guys trying to go overseas and play, and it was stuff that would work in the NBA but wouldn't work overseas. And I see this all the time. So Kendrick Perkins is only speaking from the lens, like he only knows basketball from the lens of the NBA. He doesn't really understand basketball at other levels, not because he doesn't know basketball, but it's just you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what it's like he doesn't know what it's like to not make the NBA. So he's going to say whatever he did is what it takes to get to the NBA. But really, it's like there's more that goes on, and there's so much more basketball in the world. There's so many more politics and just things that have to happen, and the industry and the whole machine has to be behind you, and it has to go right for you to make the NBA. But what happens majority of the time is not that. Okay, so the majority of the time there's all these other things that play into it. So Kendrick Perkins is saying, you're up 30, we should killer mentality, keep doing this, because that's probably what his team did. But I believe Kendrick Perkins in high school, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he have like Chris Bosh and didn't he have like a ridiculous AAU team where they were like undefeated? They were like they were way too good. And it's like, well, yeah, that works for you and your team because you had the best team. But overall, there needs to be a top-down directive from NBA, I guess is the highest level we have here, from the NBA down. I don't think the NBA is the right league to do it, but if there needs to be an organization at the top. USA Basketball needs to have some guidelines that kind of put people on the same page. This is showing you two NBA players have completely different ideas of how kids should be developed. I like Richard Jefferson's approach here. Like, if your team, you're at a young age group, especially under 14s, if you have the best players, your team will win. There's almost no strategy or no preparation you can do in AAU to overcome just not having the better players. If you have the two best players on the court, your team will win. So what lessons are we teaching? Like, if you're just like full court press and demolish them the whole time, like, well, yeah, they're doing that because they're better, not because you taught them such a good man-to-man principles and such good. No, your team is just better. So at specific levels, we should have rules that, not that it levels the playing field, but it's like if you're up 30 and your team is clearly better, if you have to pick up at half court, well, at least those other kids now that are playing AAU can at least get the ball up half court, and they can still work on offense. They can still work on things, but then your team can work on half court principles now, not just stealing the ball first pass of the game. The reason why both teams are going. If we've already figured out who's better at pressure and handling pressure, let's start figuring out other parts of the game so those kids can learn. Because when those kids now come up to a team that can handle pressure, well, now their half-court defense sucks because we usually just steal the ball every time and it works. Now we don't know what to do. And then the team that gets pressed the whole time, they're like, oh, we haven't even been practicing our offense because we can't even get the ball inbound. So it's like, well, what's the point of playing that game? Now, if this is the elite circuit league, if this is the top level of the circuit, Nike circuit, Adidas, whatever, if this is the top level of that, yeah, I think no rules, like whatever, like it's about winning. But every level underneath that, there's got to be some set rules because it's got to be about development and teaching because those kids are not the elite level and those are the kids likely not going to make it to the NBA, right? All that being said, same thing, high school guidelines. I wish from under 12s onwards in America, we played with a shot clock. I've been advocating for that a lot. Again, in Australia, those kids are playing with a shot clock at a young age. So they're learning at a very young age. It's more beneficial to kick the ball ahead and play quick, look for quick opportunities to score than it is over here. We're learning to like get the ball into your best player. They just walk it up the court. We call out plays and everything's slow. The kids don't have to think and process these things at a young age. So then when you get to a time where you're playing with a shot clock or you get playing against a team that speeds you up, these kids are just like, it's too much. It's overwhelming. Start them with the shot clock, teach them playing fast. Anyways, all these things, we need top-down organization because there's a lot of people out there like Kendrick Perkins who thinks we want to beat a team by 60. What is that doing for any of you? Again, if you're the top level and you're the elite of the elite, go for it. Do whatever you want. Pound your chest, talk about how you're the best. Remember that year 20 years ago and we had that 13-year-old team and we beat another team by 70. If that's your goal, like go for it. But the larger goal as a country should be to develop our youth as much as possible and give them the tools to like play at the next level.
I'm talking about
losing by 70 it's not teaching you anything more than losing by 30. I promise you, you're not learning more of a lesson. If anything, those kids just want to quit. And then the kids that are winning by 60 are just picking up horrible habits.
Basketball.
This is why American players are soft.
Oh, because they want to be training and we're up by 40.
No. When you step up, when you go, hold on, see.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
I've been in this.
I'm listening.
You're going to learn that when you go to certain tournaments, circuit play tournaments, you're going there to play the smoke. When you step on there, you're saying we're going to look at the best of the best. And the reason is
all those scouts, once a team is up by 30. So I was at the Under Armour circuit and every coach was there. Boeheim, John Shire was there from Duke. There was a Tennessee coach, see his face, can't remember his name. Every coach was there, right? And they were watching the top two teams, number one versus number two. They all left. The game was tied at the first quarter. They all left within the first 5 minutes. Like they saw what they needed to see. They left. So let's just say you're up by 30 and it's fourth quarter, third quarter, whatever. Like coaches aren't still there watching. Can't wait to see like what happens when they go up 32 or 34. The coaches that are scouting, like they already saw what they need to see. They're not staying to see if you can win by 70. Like Kendrick Perkins, I think I'm sorry, I'll let it play. It just frustrates me so much that there's people like this that have such a loud voice and they've made it to the NBA and they speak so definitively on youth development. And he was also the same guy talking about how Europe does it so much better because he had a friend that went to Europe and wanted to raise his son over there because how they have the academies and all this. So he knows there's a better way to do it, but then he just goes and perpetuates the whole American attitude again. And it's like, you're the problem. You're doing the thing. You're doing the thing that you just complained about.
That when you go to certain tournaments in this circuit play, it's points. They go by points each tournament. They go by, so it ain't no fucking mercy rule.
I want to know why that team was in the tournament.
I mean, we just kicked ass, though. You know what I'm saying? Your Perkins Global just kicked. Don't me Perk nothing. We not agreeing on this.
That's fine. I have no problem. Because when you want to, we can disagree. And the last point that I will make on this, y'all can win by 30. Y'all can win by 40. That's cute. That's adorable. That is not the best way to teach and train basketball. We sit here and ask, why are there no American MVPs? Why do we look at what's going on? So if that's what you're teaching, and then we see we see a progression of shitty American basketball players.
Isn't there an overall concept, though, that there's not a lot of teaching going on in AAU?
There's not teaching going on.
Allie, time out.
They put 9 of the best players on, and they're like, oh, the greatest high school team.
He's been a...
Yeah, like, look at Tyron Stokes, the #1 player in the nation, just moves across the state, across America to go play for Rainier Beach, who was like ranked number 3 preseason. Like, why would the best players already go to a team that's stacked? Like, the argument that old school basketball players had a lot was like, the old school back in the day, we wanted to beat the best. We didn't want to join the best. And it's like, yeah, we've turned it into like, just if you go to the best team, they'll be the best team. But you're not moving the needle. You're not the one making them the best team. You just went to the best team. That's one of the arguments I always give on the other side of it. You want to be someone who can take a bad team and make them good or great. You don't want to be on a good team and they just stay good, or a great team and they're great. It's like, what are you adding?
Fucking hypocrite.
How am I
right
being
now.
a hypocrite?
You want me to tell you why? He just applauded Giannis for going windmill. For going windmill.
That's the NBA. Hold on. Kendrick Perkins is now conflating under 14's AAU with the NBA. I want my NBA players and best players in the world. I want you to beat someone by 40. I want you to assert your dominance. I want you to, this is $1 billion industry. I want you to go windmill it at the end of the game whenever your organization is struggling over the last couple years to have relevancy. I want you to do that. But when it's 12-year-olds playing basketball and learning how to deal with pressure, and they're playing against someone 2 years older than them that's reclassified, and they're a foot taller, and they just keep stealing it from them and dunking it, there's not a lesson to learn. There's not a lesson to learn. It doesn't matter if that's the hardest working kid in the world and keeps fighting through conflict and all that. It doesn't matter. There's no lesson to learn there. There's nothing they can do about it.
At the end of the game, and then saying do something about it. But at the same time,
there's a cap. You can field your whole fucking team.
So you're telling me if you're running 2 14-minute halves running clock, right? That's what this tournament was. I'm asking you a question. Hold on. And you at halftime, you're up 30. You're gonna tell your team, and you've been in man-to-man the whole time, you're going to tell your team to back off?
I'm going to teach them a different lesson. I'm going to put my post player at point. I'm going to put my point guard in the post. I'm going to run a different offense. I'm going to say, hey, let's work on our 1-3-1 zone. Let's work. I'm going to play the kids at the end of the bench that don't get to play much. They're going to be the ones on the court, not my best player. Like, you teach different lessons. There's always something to teach. I'm not saying if you're doing those things, you're still winning by 30, like that's fine. I'm not saying let the other team shoot. I'm not saying don't go score. I'm just saying like work on a different thing. You know, I had this conversation the other day in one of our videos, gave some examples. There's always something to teach.
I'm going to tell my team not to fucking press. Yes,
we didn't press. I said
Allie,
full court
wait.
I did not say press.
Okay, look, there goes Allie. There we go.
Full court man to man.
What's the difference? Press is full court.
No.
You can't trap? You can't trap?
No. Pressing is trapping. No, there's two different things.
Press is full court press. Yeah. Full court traps are the same thing.
So now we can't go full court man to man?
But so I know a lot of coaches like this that coach AAU. And again, they just have better players and they'll rah-rah, beat their chest. They're like, she don't want it. Take it from her. And it's like, okay, you have the better player. Great job. But you don't have to be a dick about it too. Like, what do you want us to, like, I've played professionally. I've coached professionally. Like, I've done this for a job for longer than I haven't. Like, this is my career is just basketball. But also player development, like coaching, youth development. That's been a large part of my career. And I will be coaching against some dad that works in finance, that never played basketball, doesn't really watch a lot of it, but he will have the better team. He'll have the better players, and he'll be up, pressing, yelling, screaming, getting our kids' faces, things like that. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. This is your highlight of your sporting career. But on my end, it's more it's still teaching those lessons. Some of those girls that I'm coaching have never played basketball. And I remember the first time I coached under 14 girls, I think it was, I had a full roster of girls that had never played before. So we just put this team in so we could get this team started. And the first game we got pressed. My players we got scored on, and one of the girls just grabbed it out of the net and started running the other way. And I was like, hold on. It's like, you got to take the ball out of bounds. They're like, what's out of bounds? So I had a team of girls that didn't know where out of bounds was. They didn't know anything. And by the end of the year, they knew all those things. And then they went on and played until they were under 18s. 2 of them went on and ended up playing in the NBL, WNBL. Like, they went from not playing to some of them had some basketball careers. And that was some of the highlights of my coaching. Not the times where I've had the better team and I've just beat someone by 80, but it's those little lessons of like seeing these players come in as kids, not know anything, and learn confidence and effort, hard work, accountability, all those things, and then go on to have basketball careers and take those skills. And then the ones that didn't take those skills into other parts. I had a couple girls from that team. One of them joined the Army, the Navy, and asked me to write her. She wanted me to be the one to write her a reference because of what she did in team sports. I had a lot of players that would go do track, a lot of players that went on and did other things. And it's like, yeah, I can feel like a part of that journey now.
Yes! So what is the fucking problem?
The problem is you're saying that we're up by 30 and there's rules that say we can't press.
No, man to man.
It don't matter. It don't matter. You got to teach your kids something else. If you're up by 30 and you're still full court pressing and you're still pressing.
Man to man.
It's still full court pressing, bro.
So what you gonna tell? You gonna say, hey, let's fall back into a 2-3 zone?
Yeah.
I'm not even saying zone. Yeah. You can fall back into a man. Yeah. You can fall back into a man. You can still fall back into a man. You can fall back into a man trap. And then you can still be putting pressure on them. It's just not full court.
So man to man, because somebody picking somebody up fucking 94 feet is a problem.
But like, they don't even do that in the NBA. Right? Like, they're not even picking up like that in the NBA. So you're doing this at a low level because those kids just can't handle the pressure. Okay, well, yep, we're up 30. We already know we can win and we're the better team for this. Teach another lesson. And it's showing you right now. Kendrick Perkins, the gears are turning in his head right now. He's trying to think as he's being mad, like, what do you want us to do then? It's like, dude, you haven't thought about this? Like, what's the next thing you want to teach your team? Have you played against a team that is really good and they were beating you guys you were doing a 1-2-2 half court trap and they kept scoring out of it? Maybe here's a good opportunity to work on it and work on those rotations. Maybe there's other things. Oh, every time they run a pick and roll, we really need to work on our pick and roll defense. So let's go man and let's not trap, but let's just play every time there's a pick and roll. We're blitzing all the pick and rolls. Remember, working on that, getting our rotations, talk and communicate. You can work on different things, man.
Up by 30.
Yeah, we're going to agree to disagree on this. We can continue. Yeah, we're going to take it to the
I won the Nike Grand Finale. I won the 64-team tournament. I was the MVP. I've been in these fucking tournaments. Me too. I've been in these tournaments. Me too. So I know what these tournaments are. I was cooking everybody.
This sounds like when he looked at Channing and said, my house is bigger than yours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've been in these tournaments. I won all this shit. I was West Coast Player of the Year. What the fuck you want? I'm telling you, you shouldn't be doing it.
You keep saying me too, but I know he was a monster in high school. He might have actually come straight out of high school to the NBA, I'm pretty sure. Kendrick Perkins was legit in high school, but at the same time, a lot of it was size and athleticism. And now you see like what he had his career in the NBA. It's like maybe he would have benefited from being on some of those teams where they made him play point guard, made him play out of position and do other things. So now instead of getting to Boston and getting to OKC and he was just someone who was out there to give a couple fouls, he could have been someone that could offer that pick and pop three, or he could have been a ball mover like a Draymond Green. He could have done some more things.
Hey. Fuck that.
Okay, well, hey, you know what? American basketball is in a great place. I'm glad you're leading the future. It's in a great place.
Here we go.
Shut up.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
I hate both of you right now.
So yeah, I think those are good discussions. I'm sorry, I just did this extra video today just because I wanted to talk about it, and I think this is more the conversations that need to be had. I'm glad they're actually arguing about it, because usually what you hear on these shows, everyone just agrees with everyone. We need more discussions like this. I don't have the perfect answer for how to fix American basketball. Not other people do, but the first step is just identify there's a problem. If we can all identify there's a problem, we can move on. Kendrick doesn't think there's a problem. He says there is, but now he just starts doing the same thing that's causing the problem. So we got to have more of these conversations, more of these discussions. You guys let me know what you think down below, what you think should be done. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Take care.